jargon, you fundamentally are likely to like a floral, a chypre, or an oriental, or a main fougère. Maybe you don't know that, but why should you? But generally you'll tend to like one category more than the other. So I decided I wanted to make this balanced palette of scent, where if you like a chypre, within it there's a collection, and therefore within that collection, with very specific styles, hopefully we can find the right perfume for you. So I need to explain that and explain the scents to the staff. So when you say, how do I create, because they're interlinked, if I take the world of flowers as an example, I always start with the name. So the name of one scent, scandal. Well, what is a scandal? A scandal is generally when you make a moral judgment about another person, often based around sex or money, or a combination of two very often. And if there's a scandal, I will make the moral judgment say something to you. You will make a moral judgment, and if you agree, you'll tell someone else, and then we'll all be telling someone. So for there to be a scandal, there has to be a lot of noise. If there's not a lot of noise, it's not a scandal. And so I thought, okay, so what floral materials will give a lot of volume? So the white flowers, and so the main flower is tuberose. Another scent, another idea, I wanted something soft and slightly powdery, and so the inspiration for that perfume came off the name innuendo. Because an innuendo, of course, is a hidden suggestion. And if something's hidden, it can't be loud, so therefore it has to be soft. And something soft in perfumery, the powder notes, materials like violet and heliotrope and orris.
Do you still work that way? Did you start with the name?
Always with the name. Sometimes I was looking at I think that I'm the only Western perfumer who's lived in the Middle East to learn about oud. And I spent 3 years there, or 2 weeks every month for 3 years, and I learned about oud. I think that we are the biggest sellers of oud now anywhere in the world, and in my oud perfumes they have oud.
How many oud do you have?
We have three main. We have oud, amber oud, and musk oud. And then some other products with oud in them, like this collection called Tutti Frutti. And this collection was supposed to be slightly fun. I've always had a saying about me, please don't take me seriously because I don't. So the name Tutti Frutti was, I chose it very deliberately, because if you ever go to the Middle East, they can't tell the time. They'll say, let's meet at 8, and at 9:30 they'll turn up with a big smile. And they have very sweet teeth. They love pastries and cakes. So I had this idea of when you're walking in the Middle East and you smell oud, and then you smell the scent of patisserie. And so I thought of a very famous bracelet that Cartier made in the 30s, where they cut rubies and emeralds and sapphires to look like berries and leaves, and they call it Tutti Frutti, and you can still go to Cartier and buy.
Is this your latest
collection? Yes, indeed.
Okay.
And so these perfumes have names: Sweetie Oud, Candy Oud, Fruity Oud.
You worked with
so with this, it was just really playing on this idea of something bright and fun and colourful, and trying to take oud and work it in a very, very different way.
Why did you decide to come to Holland?
I'm
very happy about it. But
I'm very happy about it too. We have. I seem to have a lot. I seem to have people who know of my work who live in Holland, who contact me through various social media channels. So I write unusually, it seems, I'm told. But anybody who writes to me, I generally write back to, which to me seems normal. But I have lots of conversations with all sorts of perfume lovers. And so we knew that the store here had a major refurbishment. We also know Holland is a very, very important country. And so they said that they wanted to stock my perfumes here. I was very, very, very happy. And so we're thrilled that now we're available in Holland. And I hope later today, I think I have a couple of people who are going to try to come to say hello because they're now visiting. So
what fragrance do you think will be successful in the Netherlands?
I don't know, because I haven't been to the Netherlands. I was trying to work it out. I think I came here last 39 years ago.
No,
so
in Amsterdam?
So I don't. I can't say because I don't know the people well enough. So I think it's also interesting that it's very surprising, and I think one can be surprised. I don't know what way to
What is your most successful fragrance? within the line?
Amber Oud.
Amber Oud?
Well, there are three perfumes that are particularly interesting all around the world, because for some reason they seem to catch something in people's imagination.
Yeah.
So Amber Oud everywhere, whether it's in Switzerland or Germany, in the Middle East,
and whether it's
America,
male or female?
Male or female,
yeah.
Same, all around the world. Mm-hmm. I have this scent here called Diagolev, which has really taken on a cult status. It's maybe a bit arrogant of me, but But it's so Diagolev is an interesting scent. I made it for the Victoria and Albert Museum. They were putting an exhibition on to do with Diagolev, and we made 1,000 bottles. It was the first time any museum had ever had a perfume made for an exhibition, so we didn't know if it would sell or not. And people loved it, and it sold out in. It's become a bit like a fisherman's story. We don't really know how.
The fragrance is built up with?
It's a very, very big Baroque sheep.
Oh, okay.
So it's based around oak moss and vetiver and cedarwood and ambergris with a rose jasmine harmony in the heart with a little bit of peach. I use a lot of prunol spices. But it's the internet went crazy when you couldn't buy it anymore. And then I'm very lucky. A lot of what I do, the company's owned by me, so we don't have groups of people deciding what something should be about.
You really love dramatic perfumes, don't you?
I do, but also very tender ones. I have so the end story with that. I was given a private tour inside the Kremlin when we opened in Russia. I learned Russian for 3 years when I was young, and it's why on the side of the box it has the imperial eagle. Yeah. Because I asked the woman who was the translator, "How do you see yourselves?" I said, "Your landmass is so enormous, you don't see yourself as Western. You go over to Asia, but you're not Asian." She looked at me and said, "Russian." And she explained that's why the Imperial Eagle had 2 heads, because he looked to the east and looked to the west. And I thought, I'll put it on the side of the box. No customer will know why. But I put it there because I was lucky enough to go inside the Kremlin. And then I have this scent, which is called A Goodnight Kiss. Yes. Oh. And I would most likely, I definitely wouldn't be sitting here with you today if when I was a very small boy, my mother hadn't come to my bedroom and given me a kiss goodnight. And it was the thing where I first understood that perfume and a moment are sort of caught together. And I became fascinated by a scent. And I've always said, I believe it was at that moment I was put on the path that I was born to walk down. And on the 6th of January this year, which would have been my mother's birthday, I launched this perfume. And by the end of January, with no advertising, no marketing, it became our biggest selling perfume in the world.
What is the theme of this perfume?
It's a big aldehydic floral. Oh, okay. It's with a powder accord in the background. Yeah. My mother wore very little makeup, but it was this thing with the kiss of the scent of face powder, the scent of her perfume, and a little bit of something in the background that when I was young, I think most women had maybe only a couple of handbags, an everyday bag and a smart bag. But handbags, my memory of them as a child, if my mother ever asked me to get her purse or something from her bag, which was very rare, the inside was lined in chamois leather. And she always kept a little thing of perfume, her face powder, her lipstick, her wallet, and a handkerchief, I imagine, not very much else. So this suede inside the chamois had the scent almost cling to it. So in the background there's the tiniest whisper of leather. And my mother used to wear a lot of quite a lot of jewellery, and I remember this image of her with a diamond necklace. So a lot of aldehyde to catch this idea of of the scent shimmering. So when you smell it, I think that it's a very, very feminine scent, very tender, but in a way slightly retrospective. It is retro, It's an idea of when you're a child, your mother getting dressed up to go, a world a child can't understand. It's a world of glamour and a world of femininity. Whereas when you smell Diaghilev, you smell it's big and it's baroque and it's opulent. So I think the beauty of, what I hope is the beauty of my work, is that I have the idea I said at the beginning, it's about a balanced palette of scent. So the woman who likes a perfume like A Goodnight Kiss, I think most likely has a very, very different olfactive taste to the person who likes a perfume like Diaghilev. Not saying they're mutually exclusive, but
can I smell one of the tutti frutti?
Let me explain the story. This one is called Sweetie Oud, and the thought was, try to imagine walking into a beautiful patisserie where they bake on the premises. So you have the scent of brioche and croissant, very buttery.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't hungry when you went in, by the time you walk out, your stomach says you will break a piece to eat. So I think it's a very, very contemporary and unusual way of working oud. Because on the skin you smell the oud, but you smell this very sweet gourmand note.
Yeah, you do.
And the gourmand note just won't go away.
Yeah.
And so I hope it's a very original way of working the two.
I love the way you work with the oud because I find it very difficult. Oud.
Okay. And then if you smell this is the first oud I made, the one that sold out in 10 days. And in here you smell a very beautiful rose note with a little saffron.
Yeah.
And underneath the oud.
Yeah.
And these for me are the three scents. When you go to the Middle East, it's very exotic. You know, for years, who would have ever gone to the Middle East before Dubai came? It was a place diplomats went, oil people and bankers, and pearl buyers from Cartier, I'm sure, to get the pearls from the creek. But you know, this for me is a very interesting scent, because I learned that Arabic people don't just put oud on. And if you've not been there, you know, their scent, the scent you smell around them, is based around something called bakhur, it's based around mahalat, and it's based around oud. These three things make the smell of the Middle East. And with all the Arabic clients we have, they say, how do you know our smell? It's a very interesting turn of phrase. But what's also interesting, around the rest of the world, somehow people relate to that. So you know, it's not mutually exclusive to Arabic people.
What are your plans for the near future? Are you working on a new fragrance, on a new concept?
I'm always working on new perfumes.
Yeah.
So I think the thing with perfumes is interesting, because I never am not working on a new perfume, but I'm never working on one. I'm working on ideas and themes. So next year we have 2 perfumes that I in fact finished about 2 years ago. We just decided, no, too many things. And I've launched so many perfumes in a short period, but we're of course establishing a brand.
How big is your collection now?
We have about 40 perfumes.
40?
Yes, 40.
And you started in 2011,
yes.
huh? Wow.
But now the time has come. I can't stop creating its thing, but we won't carry on launching the volume of perfumes, because we have this balanced palette.
Yeah.
And you know, you just can't go on and on and on. But what I always explain to people is you have, because I never had a perfume you could go to buy.